that's what he was all sad about. Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. Hey. Oh, she's looking at me.
No, she's not.
He threw it at me.
Look, her eyes are pointed toward me.
Her shoulders are my direction.
She's smiling at me. She likes me.
Smiling
She
at
wants
me.
to give me her phone
Smiling
number
at
right
you
now.
because
She just wants my phone number. Like,
I don't see her talking.
look, I was about to say, like,
Hey, I don't think so. Hey.
Hey, Alan, what's going on? Alan, you can't do this to me. How, hello? I told you she wasn't no good. It's definitely beats me getting whipped in Street Fighter.
Da-dum-da, da-dum-da, da-dum-da. Da-dum-da, da-dum-da, da-dum-da. Da-dum-da-da, da-dum-da-da, da-dum-da. Da-dum-da-da, da-dum-da-da, da-dum-da. All the time and every time I think of you, it hurts so much. Even though the pain's so great, I find the strength to look past you. There's emptiness when you're not here for me to hold and to feel your touch. I pray to God to see the light for someone right and for someone new. I'm so lost when you're not here. I'm so confused, so terrified and fear. I pray to God to relieve this pain. My love for you was all in vain. I'm so lost when you're not here. I'm so confused, so terrified and fear. I pray to God to relieve this pain. My love for you was all in vain. I'm so lost, all in vain.
We have a number of stories to get into in this video, my friends. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. We're going to be talking about Apple, the company, moving a ton of business back to America. And actually, we have a lot of companies doing that. We'll get into that. We're going to get into what just happened with McDonald's. You're not going to believe it. We're going to get into actually, of course, a number of other stories, some interviews from CNN, of course, someone that used to work there, now no longer there. We'll get into that as well. And actually a ton of other topics. We're even going to have a clip with the Macron talking with our president and much more. Let's just get into this. We'll start with this here. Apple will spend more than $500 billion in U.S. over the next 4 years. Teams and facilities to expand in Michigan, Texas, California, Arizona, Nevada, Iowa, Oregon, obviously a ton of states. Put a huge list out there, but you get the idea. So, of course, we have a number of things going on. Manufacturing Academy, accelerated investments in AI, Silicon Engineering. As you can see here, a lot of this is a result of these tariffs. Of course, Walmart recently put out something, oh no! The former CEO talking about tariffs are affecting a little bit of their bottom line. Well, I'm not even noticing anything other than eggs being too expensive in the store. That's about the only thing from what I can tell. Pretty much the prices are about the same as they were a month or two ago, right? At least in my case, this is what I've noticed. But I don't know about you. I haven't noticed prices really go up anywhere other than eggs. And of course, there's some strange things going on with that as well. At any rate, so we're going to get into a ton of stuff like I mentioned. We have also, here's a number of other companies that are actually moving their business back to America. Ford, General Electric, Intel, Tesla, U.S. Steel, Nucor, Generac, which actually I have one of those, Lockheed Martin, and Komatsu. Komatsu, is that how you say it? From Chattanooga, Tennessee. And of course, with regards to the steel, for example, one of the most wealthy companies in the world with steel was from India. Now that we're moving some of the work back here, we may have a lot of money being generated from that as well. Of course, some people are wondering about the gold in Fort Knox. Here's the last, well, actually there was an audit allegedly back in 2017. I'll show you that in a second, but here is the actual audit that was publicized, the last one that was publicized, 1974, and they went in and measured some of this. As you can see there, you can see the gold bars stacked up inside Fort Knox. And from what I understand, there's actually more than one location. And soon here, we're going to be actually having a real audit. They haven't had one since 1974. Of course, there's one person here claiming that he was able to see it. Ah, Steven here. Thanks to U.S. Mint staff for hosting Fort Knox. USBD, first U.S. Treasury Secretary to visit since John Schneider in 1948. Glad gold is safe. And of course, he's literally the only person that saw it. So you're just going to have to take his word for it. No videos, no evidence, presented, just a tweet. I don't think that's enough. Okay, some people are wondering if it's still there. He had this clip, of course, from the movie with Jim Carrey, Dumb and Dumber. Check this out.
That's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs. Go ahead and add it up. Every cent's accounted for. Look. See this? That's a car. $275,000. Might want to hang on to that one.
There might be a few IOUs in the Fort Knox. I guess we'll find out soon here. Of course, considering the cost of eggs, maybe that's what they put in there. I mean, it's as good as gold at this point. The price, I think gold bars were $4 or $5 back then. Now eggs are $5. So, I mean, it's a pretty close comparison. Of course, they never redid the pricing for the gold in Fort Knox, so I guess they could just replace it with eggs. At any rate, you might want to get yourself some actual real gold. Link is in the description at mex.com. Might want to get some before the prices go way up once they find out there is none in there. I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? At any rate, of course, also go check out my website, JR Videos. Got lots of deep dives over there into a lot of interesting topics. We're going to actually kind of go across the board. In this video, we have, of course, now almost 160,000 civil service employees are millionaires. I'm guessing not that many people watching my video are. When our previous president took office, fewer than 70,000 federal workers were millionaires. By 2022, the number grew to 77,000, and the number ballooned to 155 by September of 2024. I find this very interesting. Looking at our taxes, they didn't change the brackets. They haven't changed almost anything, even on corporate taxes, on the F1120 form, Just all these forms, they don't change any of the numbers, pretend like there's no inflation. You remember a former president, oh, what inflation are you talking about? While they, at the same time, are literally, maybe, I don't know if it's double, but they definitely increased their wages a ton. Or maybe they got a little bit of that USAID money, I don't know. But clearly, going from 70,000 to 150,000 millionaires in 2 years, well, they apparently knew there was inflation on their end. They just didn't want to, they just wanted to pretend like it didn't exist on ours. That's the way I see that. And of course, there might be another reason why, my friends. Salary, $200,000 a year, but worth $200 million. You got Mitch McConnell, who just recently said he's not going to run again. $200,000 a year. Net worth almost $100 million. You know what? That'd be great if I could do that. That'd be awesome. I'm guessing you're thinking the same thing. If you could just get $200,000 a year and somehow end up with $100 million in the bank, sounds great to me. Sign me up for that. But I'm guessing there's a little bit of dark, weird stuff going on there. I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of, you know, rub my back and I'll rub yours type of thing going on. I don't know what's going on with that. Obviously, we have U.S. judge blocks Elon's team from accessing education department. I wonder why. Is there something they're doing there as well that's not on track? Or is it just, you know, another slush fund of some sort? I guess we'll find out once they actually can get in there. It is amazing how they're seemingly trying to stop them if there's really nothing to worry about. If you're not doing anything wrong, why do you have a problem with us looking into it? Because you seem to say the same thing to us. Well, if you're not doing anything wrong, why are you worried? Why are you concerned? Well, apparently you're doing something wrong. Okay, so we want to look into it. We are concerned, right? 2.7 million people currently work for the federal government. That reflects 400 billion of wages per year. We're about to see the largest mass layoff in U.S. history. Of course, also on top of that, perhaps some of these people could be replaced. Or maybe their position's not even relevant. You know, like that one movie from, that scene from Office Space, what do you do here? Anything? Maybe they can just use an AI to replace some of these people. From what I understand, a lot of them are just literally stamping papers and just doing some very easy tasks that probably don't even need to be done in some cases. So it does make sense they would need to have to justify their job because everyone else in the world has to as well, like you and I. Now, what's really interesting about this, the man who predicted back in 2011 that our current president would become president back in 2016, number 47, he predicted it. His name was Mark, Taylor. That guy predicted it back in 2011. He also had a number of other predictions in the statement he put out, and one of them had to do with finding how they were spending our money. Okay, where was that at? Let me find it really quick here. Here it is, right here. The enemy will say, "What shall we do now? The man knows all our tricks and schemes. We have been robbing America for decades. What shall we do to stop this?" The Spirit says, no one shall stop this that I have started, for the enemy has stolen from America for decades, and it stops now. And I'm kind of curious if the golden Fort Knox is there still. That's another one. But, I mean, obviously this has indeed come true on his second term. That is from 2011, he put that out. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Getting on to some other stuff here, we have... I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter or X of recent of like crime, just lots of ridiculous just crime and stuff going on. Now we have McDonald's in crime-ridden NYC has started carding people at the door. Apparently, you're getting carded to go into McDonald's to get a cheeseburger. Sign on the door at McDonald's in Brooklyn indicating no minors without an adult and ID. With a group of teenagers raising, of course, their fists in protest outside the restaurant. I thought I saw a video about that recently. There was a bunch of teens that got kicked out of a McDonald's recently. Maybe that was related. No one under the age of 20 is allowed in this restaurant. You have to have an ID now. So that's what's become of McDonald's. So you got, like hairspray and shampoo behind glass lock and key. You got to be carded to go into McDonald's now. That's the kind of stuff going on. And of course, on top of that, you have U.S. household debt shatters. What size? What is that number? Million, billion, trillion? 18 trillion. As delinquency rates surge, according to Federal Reserve Bank of New York. This came out a couple days ago. Total amount of household debt in the U.S. has surged to a new record level in the quarterly report of household debt and credit. New York Fed says total household debt hit 21-year high, 18.04 trillion in quarter four. As you can see here on this graph, the total debt balance and its composition. Mortgages make up the bulk of the household debt, standing at 13 trillion by the end of December last year. So you can see about the inflation and the debt rate going up is about how much these government workers are paying themselves more. That's why they have literally double the millionaires that are federal workers. Of course, now you're seeing a lot of them lose their jobs because they're required to prove who they are and what they're doing. Then we have this story here. Joy Reid apparently losing her job, being fired from MSNBC. She said her show had value. Apparently, she's upset for losing her job. No surprise there. But the fact is, apparently, she said a lot of stuff a lot of people didn't like. At any rate, she doesn't seem very happy in this clip.
And that, I'm sorry. That what I was doing had value.
Of course, she also apparently promoted a lot of stuff that really I wouldn't agree with. Black, of course, lives, matter, that whole thing, and a number of other things that she promoted. Also saying not so nice things about certain people as well. So I'm not exactly going to shed a tear. Let's just put it that way. I'm not really. Andrew, you get the idea. So she lost her job, which a lot of people are actually happy about. Then we have this. So apparently we have CNN grilling an advisor for Elon and his team, talking about finding all this wasteful spending and, of course, fraud. Check out what this man had to say. This host on CNN.
Okay, I'm all for ridding the government of waste, fraud, and abuse. But at some level, isn't it all illusory? In other words, if there's a quote-unquote savings made by Elon Musk and Doge, we're still $36 trillion in debt. So there's...
So let me get this straight. The logic is that because we already have a bunch of debt, we might as well just keep spending money? Like, I don't understand this at all.
It's like you're so in debt, but like, what does it matter at this point? We're just completely broke. We're spending money the wrong way. We're super in debt. There's no way we can pay it off. Just whatever. Who cares? Yeah, actually, I think we can turn this around, even though you don't think it's possible. CNN dude. The fact is we can. And I agree 100% with Asmongold there that we can definitely, obviously we need to bring in balance your budget and reduce debt and reduce spending and reduce all this other stuff, fraud, so that we can actually bring this thing in and actually somehow solve it. You're not going to solve it by ignoring it, obviously. Then we have, of course, a guest, I think his name's Mike, I can't remember his last name, who was on Joe Rogan talking about how everyone's reacting to Elon's team, finding and cutting all this wasteful spending, and they're just, oh my goodness. So let's just hear what this guy has to say.
Dropping onto the fainting couch over the idea that he's accessing your private information, right? What's he gonna do? He's accessing your private information. And you think, okay, well, first of all, I don't think the guy is looking to scam you out of $500, right?
Right, but the argument's good. Like, he shouldn't be able to scan your information, but also, is there any evidence that he's doing that? And here's the other question: who else has access to this? Well, it turns out
about every company.
Turns out a lot of people have access to this, even students that are interns.
Right, exactly. So you have them worrying when he used to be over PayPal. He's a billionaire. He doesn't want your $500. He doesn't even want to look at your information. He's looking at Mitch McConnell's, spending habits and how he pays himself and think, well, not spending habits, but he's looking at Mitch McConnell, how he's getting his money, right? So he's not looking at your data. He's looking at other things instead. So, and of course, every company out there has some of your financial data if you've logged into their website and bought something with a credit card, right? So this is something that's very, it's just sort of a misdirection, trying to make you worry about something that's not there. Then we have this here. We have Deadpool creator says Kevin Feige should get off the mound, talking about this new movie, Captain America Brave New World. Apparently, it did so terrible in the box office that you even have other creators of movies like Deadpool saying, bro, just get rid of these people. They don't know what they're doing. They clearly don't know how to make a movie that will make money. And so that's happening. That was tweeted out. Actually, I can show you. I think I can show you that. Well, for one, Captain America, it lost 70% on its second weekend. Isn't making very much money at all. And he said in his comment on X, get Kevin Feige off the mound. He's spent. I thought it said Feige. It says Feige. Well, they misspelled it here, apparently. Okay, that might explain it. So you got that story, and you have also some good news. Kathleen Kennedy stepping down from Lucasfilm. She has been running it for years and years, running Star Wars into the ground pretty much, and destroying the entire franchise. Now she finally is going to step down after she's already completely destroyed everything. So maybe they'll actually get somebody in there that can somehow salvage Star Wars. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with that. Then we have this story here. We have Rubio talking about how we were double crossed by Crane. Check this out.
We get to get paid back some of the money the taxpayers have given, close to $200 billion. And it also, now we have a vested interest in the security of Ukraine. And he said, sure, we want to do this deal. It makes all the sense in the world. The only thing is I need to run it through my legislative process. They have to approve it. I read 2 days later that Zelensky's out there saying, I rejected the deal. I told him, no way, that we're not doing that. Well, that's not what happened in that meeting.
So right there, he actually basically said the exact opposite. He says to us he's going to do something. He's going to try to put it through his legislator. And instead, what he does is he just goes to the press and says, no, we rejected the deal. So the guy is not actually working with us. He's working against us. He also said a number of things against our current president. And, of course, we have also the French, Macron, chiming in on this.
We don't, and now we do. But, that's only fair.
Oh, my God.
I just want to tell you a little story.
So actually what's going on here, so they were talking about giving money to Crane and how they were supposed to get money back. And the French PM there, Macron, was saying, well, actually, technically it's 60% or something like that. But actually, it's really kind of interesting seeing the dynamic between Macron and our president. Check this out.
The Eiffel Tower, having dinner with your wonderful wife and with my wonderful wife, and we came out and he started speaking the French deal. And we didn't have an interpreter, and he was going on and on and on, and I was just nodding, yes, yes, yes. And he really sold me out, because I got back the next day and I read the papers. I said, that's not what we said.
Dude's just messing with him. So you saw how our president was dealing with Macron. It looked like he was being buddy-buddy with him, right? And was talking like, oh, it's okay if, you guys get your money back and we don't. And like he's talking all nice and stuff. But then guess what he does literally the next day is apparently we sided with the other side in these resolutions. So he's playing this really kind of clever. He's being friendly with these guys, but then he's making very strategic decisions. U.S. sides with the Ruslans, or Vladmeister, as I call him, on these resolutions. Why? Because he wants to make sure this agreement, this war, is ended. So if he would have sided with the other side on this, it would have probably upset the Vladmeister, all right? So that's why he did that. And so you can see he's been kind of clever with this whole thing. And I'm going to get into actually a number of other things on my other channel. Kind of wonder what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. And thanks for watching.
basketball.
At any rate, so I got so many things to present in this video, my friends. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. We're going to get into a lot of all the wonderful things happening around us. We have, of course, McDonald's. Crime-ridden, of course, New York City. We'll get into that. We're going to get into what Apple just did, the company, and actually we're seeing a ton of companies doing the exact same trend. We'll get into that. We're going to get into what's going on with the whole gold thing, Fort Knox, and actually a ton of other stuff, including meeting with Macron and so much more. And also even this video, this reminds me of the old days on my channel. Mark Driscoll talking about a certain topic. We'll get into that as well. Let's just start here. We'll start with the whole McDonald's thing. Not loving it. We have here crime-ridden New York City. McDonald's has started carding people at the door. And people are protesting outside. First it was hairspray and shampoo behind lock and key at Walgreens, maybe in various cities around America. Now it's carding people to get into McDonald's to get a cheeseburger. That's the latest new trend. Crime-ridden, of course, Brooklyn. We have this McDonald's here carding customers at the door. No one under 20 is allowed in the restaurant without an adult and or proper identification, apparently. So a lot of people apparently up in arms over this, but honestly it just shows you kind of how some of our cities have become of the last year or so, all because of our wonderful last 4 years. Obviously there's a lot of stuff going on. We have here household debt through the roof, and of course it's at 18 trillion. Delinquency rates surge according to the Federal Reserve. You can see here the graph and how much it's went up. And the irony is comparing this to our federal workers and how there's now numerous millionaires. Let me show you that. Where did that go? Here it is. Check this out. Almost 160,000 civil service employees are millionaires. And guess what? 2 years ago, it was half that. Actually, it was less than half that. In 2022, there was less than 80,000 millionaire civil servant employees. We're talking federal employees. Okay? Number of millionaire federal civil servants, 160,000. Now tell me, do you think the GOP is a little bloated when you have literally doubling the millionaires in 2 years working there? Okay? No wonder they're finding so much stuff to cut. I mean, you got this, and that compared to that graph I just showed you, this is our debt on the public sector side, not the federal side, or private sector, I guess you would say. As you can see here, we're getting more in debt while they're becoming millionaires. I think we might need to solve something here. Okay, particularly considering the fact that these GOV federal workers are being paid by our tax dollars. That's what's going on. So obviously this is something that needs to be fixed, and also a number of things in our cities need to be fixed as well. You have here, of course, this is pretty hilarious. This is a clip, a guy on CNN asking an advisor for Elon's team, why do you really need to cut all this? I mean, his logic is so ridiculous. Check this out.
Okay, I'm all for ridding the government of waste, fraud, and abuse. But at some level, isn't it all illusory? In other words, if there's a quote-unquote savings made by Elon Musk and Doge, we're still $36 trillion in debt. So there's...
So, let me get this straight. The logic is that because we already have a bunch of debt, we might as well just keep spending money? Like, I don't understand.
It's the worst logic ever. You're completely in debt, your cards are all maxed out, but since you're so in debt and since everything's destroyed anyways, you might as well just keep spending money the wrong way. Just get more in debt. Let's just destroy the whole thing. That's basically the logic that he's giving for our economy. Makes total sense, right? At any rate, so there's that. You have, of course, Joe Rogan covering this as well. You have here, I can't remember the guy's name. His name's Mike. I know his first name's Mike. He's talking about how people are fawning and all upset over all this stuff being cut, and then being concerned about your, of course, privacy.
Just losing their shit and dropping onto the fainting couch over the idea that he's accessing your private information, right? What's he gonna do? He's accessing your private information. And you think, okay, well, first of all, I don't think the guy is looking to scam you out of $500, right?
Right, but
He's like, yeah.
the argument's good. Like, he shouldn't be able to scan your information, but also, is there any evidence that he's doing that? And here's the other question: who else has access to this? Well, it turns out
about every company.
Turns out a lot of people.
Every company out there. I mean, he used to work for PayPal. He used to own PayPal. Elon did, and he clearly had access to all that data back then. Just like every other company, Apple, whatever, all have access to whatever information you put on their system, right? So, and on top of that, who says he's even accessing? Obviously he's not. He's looking into what they're spending all this money on, not what you spent your money on. Clearly it has nothing to do with this federal information, right? So it just seems kind of like a silly argument they're putting forward. And of course, speaking of Apple, Apple is apparently moving tons of business back to America, $500 billion in the U.S. over the next 4 years. Teams and facilities to expand in several states: Michigan, Texas, California, Arizona, etc., etc. Lots of different states are going to be seeing more jobs from Apple, the company. New factory in Texas, doubling the Advanced Manufacturing Fund. Academy, accelerated investments, AI, and silicon engineering. So you have all that going on right now. This is just one company, but you actually have numerous companies doing this stuff right now. You have Ford, General Electric, Intel, Tesla, U.S. Steel, Nucor, Generac, Power Systems. Actually, it's a lot more than this. There's John Deere. John Deere just stopped they're creating a facility or factory in Mexico, and they just canceled it because of the whole tariff thing. So this list is actually really short. There's actually tons of companies moving jobs back to America because of tariffs and all this type of stuff. Then we have this. We have the audits. They're going to be doing an audit of course, Fort Knox soon here. The last time where it was actually filmed and shown to the public was 1974. This is apparently some of the gold bars that were shown basically before I was born. Okay, this was 50 years ago. The last time it was actually audited and shown on some sort of video was 50 years ago. All right. Was that about the time we went on the moon or whatever? And we haven't been back there either. Why? What's going on there? I don't know. Of course, you can see here they're measuring the gold right there in that part of the video. And so apparently, allegedly, they did also have an audit back in 2017. All we have for evidence of this is one man who tweeted about it. That's all we got. Thanks to the U.S. Mint staff for hosting at Fort Knox, first U.S. Treasury Secretary to visit since John Schneider in 1948. Glad gold is safe. Really? Wow, that just totally proves it to me. I guess we'll find out what really happened, right? I think this clip from the movie Dumb and Dumber with Jim Carrey kind of says it all.
That's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs. Go ahead and add it up. Every cent's accounted for. Look. See this? That's a car. $275,000. Might want to hang on to that one.
Yes, indeed. Might be a few IOUs in that vault there, I guess. Or maybe they'll have these. Maybe they'll have some eggs. Since eggs are now $5, or actually more than that, for a carton, and gold bars back then were $4. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Eggs are more valuable, right? I mean, well, I guess back then $4 was a lot more than today's $4, right? So that might be why. That's how much your money has lost value. Eggs now cost as much as gold did back then. That should tell you something about what's going on with our inflation. So also, you might want to get yourself some gold. Obviously, it's no longer $4. It's almost $3,000 for a troy ounce. So You might want to get some now before it becomes 50,000 a troy ounce. Link is in the description for that. Gold and silver. Silver also matches usually with gold in its upward trend. Link is in the description. Get some physical gold and silver. Also, of course, this book here, The Lost Ways, How Your Great-Great-Grandfather Lived Without Electricity, How to Build a Cellar, Do Things Around the House Like They Did in good old days. Hundreds of pages illustrated. You're going to definitely need that book before the electricity goes out. Who knows when that might be? And if it does, and everyone else's goes out for a couple weeks, you're not going to know what to do, because usually what happens is it goes out and you go to your parents' house or your friend's house or whatever, but what if they don't have it either? You're going to definitely want to have this book. It's only $37. Get the printed version. Link is in the description. And all my other links are below for everything else. Let's get back to the video. So we have, of course, these guys mysteriously making only $200,000 a year, yet somehow have $200 million in the bank. It makes total sense, right? I mean, I'm sure all of you guys have $50 or $20 million in the bank as well that watch me. I mean, goodness, I'm sure there's a few people in my crowd that make $100,000 a year or more. I'm sure you got millions in the bank too, right? Just like they do. Or maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. So at any rate, so we had all those stories. And actually, we have some other interesting stories. We have a little bit in Hollywood. Then we'll get over to the whole Mark Driscoll, because I want to get into that a little bit. And I'm also going to get into this Paula White. I got some interesting stuff on that as well. Actually, though, let me show you something else before all of that. We had a man predict that 47 would become president back in 2016. His name was Mark, Taylor. Actually, let me get on the screen better. And this was what he released back in 2011 about this, and that he would become the next president. And he also predicted a number of other things that are now coming true. Check this out. Then we'll even quake and shake when he announces he's running. It'll be like a shot heard across the world. The enemy will say, "What shall we do now?" This man knows our tricks and schemes. We have been robbing America for decades. What should we do to stop this? The Spirit says, "Ha, no one shall stop this that I have started. For the enemy has stolen from America for decades and stops not." We now have the evidence of that. It's now, of course, for everyone to see. So that, I thought that was rather interesting. I thought I'd show that real quick. But what else do we got here? So, yeah, I wanted to mention about Deadpool creator basically telling off the producer of Captain America, saying, "Get off the mound. He's spent. He's no longer worth using as a creator for a movie because clearly he's not making the money." So we have Deadpool creator saying this about the new Captain America, apparently because it hasn't made that much money at all, and cratered on its second weekend. And he tweeted, "Get Kevin Feige off the mound. He's spent," meaning don't use him anymore for movies unless you like losing tons of money. Now, of course, Deadpool made a ton of money recently, while Captain America did not. So that's probably why he's saying that. But on top of that, you have some good news. Kathleen Kennedy has finally stepped down. It's kind of like the news when we heard Mitch McConnell stepping down. It's like, oh my goodness, finally. Lucasfilm, of course, she was the one running Star Wars for the last decade. That might explain why it's done so terribly over the last decade. Some people kind of want Star Wars to be brought back to what it used to be, and it never happened under her. So, of course, the good news is she's stepping down, and a lot of people are happy about that. But getting into some other stuff here, of course, we had our president meet with the PM of France, Macron, and I thought this was really clever how our president handled this. He was really buddy-buddy with them, as you'll see in this clip, and then I'll show you what he did after that. Check this out.
We don't, and now we do. But, that's what we've got.
Oh, my God.
I just want to tell you a little story. So we were at the Eiffel Tower having dinner with your wonderful wife and with my wonderful wife, and we came out, and he started speaking the French deal. And we didn't have an interpreter, and he was going on and on and on, and I was just nodding, yes, yes, yes. And he really sold me out, because I got back the next day and I read the papers. I said, that's not what we said.
He's like messing with him. Apparently, he said a bunch of stuff that he didn't realize in the meeting, and it was in the newspapers the next day, and it had him nodding to all the stuff that maybe he wouldn't agree with, But what's interesting about what happened next is we decided to not side with Crane in these resolutions. And I think I know why he did this. This is from BBC. The U.S. sides with the Vladmeister on these resolutions. Why? And it's only one of very few countries. So what was the numbers? I think it has it down here. Okay. 193 members, 93 votes. Okay, what was it? Here we go. I know it's around here somewhere. It says what it was. Okay, yeah, here it is. 93 votes total. No, okay. It was 193 total members, but 93 backed the European resolution, and U.S. did not abstain, but actually voted against it, along with the Vladmeister and a couple. Oh my goodness, even Korea. What in the world? And a few others, Hungary, and 11 other states. And then there were 65 that abstained from voting. And so this is really strange because we were leading the way all the way up for the last 3 years with regards to Ukraine. Now we went the direct opposite direction. I think the reason why he did this, though, was because he wants to be able to end this whole war. I think that's the entire point. He's like, look, I'm not going to take sides on the other side and then upset the Vladmeister because I want to get this thing all resolved and over with. Now, getting over to some new topic here, we got Paula White. You remember Paula White was the one that's head of spirituality or the spirit. What was it? I don't even remember what it was called. Our president basically announced that she was head of something. Paula White. Okay, what is she? Head of Faith Office. That's what it was. It's the Faith Office, apparently. So she was set over the Faith Office. Paula White. I made a video kind of saying, you know, kind of sarcastically, well, looking at how terrible the church is, she's kind of a good representation of how bad it is, so it makes sense that she would be picked, right? And a lot of people didn't understand what I was being sarcastic. They were thinking like I actually endorsed her. I was not saying that. I was saying actually she's a terrible pick, and it kind of reflects our church, so it kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying. And what's interesting about this is apparently the Daystar, you've heard about Daystar, and they had a scandal recently, pretty big scandal. Apparently Paula White has brought them into DC. Brought in, what's her name? Something Lamb, Joni Lamb, into DC, kind of like, you know, bringing the scandal to our president almost, in a sense. I mean, this is ridiculous. Why is she bringing Daystar mired in a scandal to DC? That makes absolutely no sense. While a number of ministers are walking away from the whole Daystar thing, rash of charismatic leaders departs from Daystar amid ongoing scandal. We've seen scandals everywhere in the church of recent. Goodness gracious, you got it on the Calvinist side, you got it on the charismatic side, you got it on it. Just name one side and you got it, pretty much. I mean, pretty much every single one of them out there, including the Catholic. I mean, goodness gracious, you got Pope Francis right now. He's not exactly what you would call traditional Catholic, let's just put it that way. More like completely off track, completely against their main doctrines. But this is kind of the what the church is like right now. You have another person also in Daystar getting caught up in the scandal as well. This man right here. Again, it's actually related to the scandal of Joni Lamb and her family, which again, it has to do with some of course, age. I think it was a granddaughter or something. Something happened. I think you can get the idea. Not good. All right. So what's interesting is the same man that predicted our president I just talked about earlier, Taylor, Mark, he also had a prediction about this. January 7th, 2021, wolves in sheep's clothing. All right. And it's very interesting because it says, I think it says in an ear. Let me find that. Where's that at? I know it's in here. Where is it at? I think it's on. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. It's not on the screen. Let me show it. I gotta get it on the screen. There it is. All right, here we go. The Spirit of God says another betrayal from the president's spiritual advisory board has taken place. Jezebel whispers, it's complete. We have the king's ear. I control who speaks to the king. No true prophet of the living God will ever reach him. Only my soothsayers will speak. The betrayer sits at the king's table. And Mark recently said in a broadcast that this has been fulfilled now that Paula White is his spiritual advisory board leader, or whatever you want to call it. You know, she's head of it. So, and it kind of makes sense because she's bringing along Daystar, which is mired in a scandal. And it's interesting the word Jezebel is used here as well. Oh my goodness, that's interesting. So, at any rate, so that one also came true. Now, of course, when people think of these words, they don't. What's really interesting about it, the word Jezebel, people think completely wrongly, and they take it, divorce it from the story. The story is she was teaching people to worship a false god. Okay? She was leading the nation astray. That's what she was doing. It was the Baal, right? What's interesting also, I just saw this part of this clip from Mark Driscoll, and I told you back years ago on my channel, I used to make videos against this guy because he would have the most ridiculous takes on a number of things. He would put up a list of things you can't do, you know, before marriage. It'd be like a list of 50 things, and like none of it's in Scripture. He goes off these English translations like most ministers do, and most people in the church do, and they misunderstand things. So the word fornication, for example, it comes from a root word, porneia. And what's interesting is even the translation he's showing on the screen, all these modern translations get some of this verse wrong, okay? Because it actually detracts from what's being said. It says here, this word right here, those that are gay, right? It actually doesn't say it that way in the original King James. What I'm saying is this specific verse. I'm not saying overall in the scriptures. I'm saying this specific verse is talking about something that's being hidden. Let me show you. So you go over here and it says effeminate, and it says abusers of themselves with mankind. You see this right here? Now, effeminate means more than what people think it means. It doesn't just mean someone who's gay. It means way more than that. It's talking about men that won't be men. And our society has an epidemic in that realm. Men not wanting to be men. And also females not wanting to be females. It's an epidemic. On top of that, it says abusers. This is referring to R-A, then the letters P-E. I'm not going to... I think you know what I'm saying. Put those 4 letters together and you know. It's referring to that. It's referring to someone who's over another person and forces them, of course, to do something. That's what it's referring to. And, of course, the obvious meaning of that word. So that's what it means. But they decided instead to just make it the word gay. It's not saying that. It's talking much broader. It's talking about a lot of people who are doing things they shouldn't be doing. You see what I'm getting at? And so I feel like this is another example of where the modern church has completely went off track. And of course, the word fornication, again, that word as well, its meaning has changed over time, and there's a reason for that, because they use that word to refer to the term parneia, which that word doesn't even mean anything remotely to the modern definition of this word. It means nothing remotely near it. Well, I'll show you that here real quick. Augustine, so this is to give you some history. Augustine considered this word that, Augustine, really? Now I think about it, that's really kind of weird. Because Augustine, they didn't have English back then. Okay, well, what do you... apparently not English version. Augustine was from what year? He was 400 AD. So it's just kind of weird. It means this right here, Lady of the Night. And let me show you. The word, the reason, so what's going on here is the word in Greek is parneia, like I mentioned. That word does not mean what you see in the modern English translations. Okay, it doesn't. What it means, if you look at the Greek Septuagint, Old Testament, and its usage of the word, it means essentially this here. And half the time in the Old Testament, when it used the word, it referred to this, idolatry. Literally half the time the word is used in the Old Testament that they translate to fornication meant idolatry. Have you ever heard a minister say it means idolatry? No, but that's exactly what it means half the time. So what it's referring to is selling yourself off to another god, or selling or a woman, of course, selling herself off, like, Lady of the Night. It's referring to selling yourself off. The root word for parneia, and he shows right down here how the root word for parneia comes from pernimi, which means to sell. Okay? And again, if you look at the oldest Strong's Concordance, not these modern versions, because they keep modifying words. A lot of people don't notice this. I noticed this over the years. If you take out the 1890 Strong's Concordance, it doesn't say what the modern one says. They actually literally change the definitions of words on certain words. And this is because of theology. And you remember, Jesus said, beware of the scribes and Pharisees. What do the scribes do? They translate the scriptures. They modify what it says. They slant the words. Pharisees, same exact thing. They put their doctrine into everything. So if you actually look at the original root meaning of the word, it meant to sell. And of course, as I showed you, it talked about the Lady of the Night, but it also means, it means rebelling. It means selling yourself off to an idol, or just committing idolatry. Or it means some sort of immorality with, obviously sex. Or it means, in a sense, to sell oneself off. Now, it also referred often to temple women that do things to the temple, ladies of the night. It referred to a lot of that in the OT. But again, it mainly had to do with basically going against God, okay? Like committing idolatry or some sort of rebellion in that respect. And in a sense, it's like the word has lost all of its meaning. Because if you look at the word fornication, it means nothing like any of that. It means none of that now. So when you have these modern translations translating this and saying that, you lose all the meaning of what it actually meant originally. They should actually go through the ancient meanings of these words and how they were used in the Septuagint and the NT and harmonize it and show the actual meaning. And I have a Bible that does that. Dr. Ann Nyland, you can go look it up on Amazon. She's a classical Greek scholar, and she's not from some sort of seminary. She's secular, and she just goes through it and uses the ancient meanings of the words and translates the scriptures. Her name's Dr. Ann Nyland. I think it's called The Source. Dr. Ann Nyland. Just write Nyland. I think it's called The Source, isn't it? Or maybe it's not maybe it's not The Source. I can't remember the name. I got it over there and I can't remember the name. Here it is. Yeah, it is The Source. I was right. Here it is. So I would recommend buying this. This is a modern version that actually goes through and uses ancient Greek understanding, not what your church teaches, not what the common standard Protestant thinking is today, but actually just uses the ancient languages and just translate it based on the ancient languages. I'm not going to say this Bible's perfect or something, because it probably isn't, but you'll get a lot better understanding of what some of these words are looking into it. But at any rate, that's kind of my video. I'm kind of wondering what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.
I just want to know why it's so fucking hard to get a job, man! In 2025, it is literally impossible, bro! When you do, you get 7 rounds of interviews for some reason, man! Just for them to go with another candidate! You cannot find a job in 2025! It is literally impossible! And I keep crashing out about it! How the fuck are we ever gonna find a job? Why is it so fucking hard, man? It should never be this fucking hard. I swear, bro.
I feel like I'm being gaslit by America. America is telling me that there's so many jobs abundant, and I've been applying for 2 years. I graduated 2 years ago with a degree in marketing, and I have not been able to find a job. Where are they? Like, if you have a job right now, how'd you get it? And was it like nepotism? Like, were you handed the job? Like, I have no idea how people are getting jobs, honest to God. I get ghosted by companies left and right. They say that the dating world right now is crazy with like ghosting. Hell no. Have you tried finding a job in 2025? You get ghosted left and right. I did a 2-part interview with a company that ended up ghosting me. I followed up with them 3 separate times to hear nothing back. No, like, hey, you could have worked on this, or like, no, you didn't get the job. Nothing. And like, I was like very confident I got the job, but yeah, so lesson learned: if you have a job right now, do not leave it. If you just graduated, good luck, unless like you know someone. I've even gone the referral process, so I don't really know actually. Yeah, I'm looking for any advice. Like, if you're able to find a job right now, like, kudos to you, but help a girl out, because I don't want to do dog walking and dog sitting forever. Thank you.
The job market got people crashing out right now, family. I knew this day would come, and it's gonna get worse. This how they want it. They kept kicking the can down the curb so that the economy can keep being worse, so that they can say we're not in a recession even though we're in a depression. People starting to crash out. Can't take it. Imagine waiting years with no job. Years. What you supposed to do? The economy taking a toll on a lot of people. All of the people that cannot get a job, that's been struggling to get employment. Family, you already know what to do. And if you're brand new too, thumbs up this video so YouTube can push this content out. Smash subscribe to join the tribe. And ring the post notification bell as well.
The job market right now. Let's talk about it. I don't know if there's like a weird miscommunication between the job board and the employee that's trying to apply, but it feel like back in high school when I didn't have no experience, and I got plenty of experience now, so I should have been got a job, so I don't understand. But anyways, what really gets on my nerves are these assessments. They be asking you, are you more likely to be conversing with your coworkers or curse out a customer? I don't identify with either one. So now we already starting off on the wrong foot, because now I gotta lie. You basically asking me, am I a gossiping ass bitch or a rude ass dog? Like, I can't win. I'm gonna crash out either way. Just hire me for one day. Let me do my thing, and if you don't like what you see, you can fire me then. That's how it really should be. I promise, you're gonna love it here. I feel like I'm more qualified than a recruiter. Come on now, watch out. I know what I'm doing. So anyways, I be looking into the comments of these videos where people talking about, you know, they have the same issues, and the comments be like, oh, well, I just make money through content creation. So you telling me I just gotta get on this app and just start talking. That's what I'm missing in my life. It's me holding me back. That's what you're saying. I don't even talk to my family every day. You want me to talk to these motherfuckers. What's up, Dan? Hey, my name Classy. I'm single. I like the game. I make music. I write music. I'm a rapper. What's up? What y'all want to know? Talk to me. Cause we trying to make some money.
Y'all really on the wrong platform. Y'all quick to go to TikTok. Y'all better bring it to YouTube and do your thing. Do your thing. Y'all better bring it to YouTube. I was just watching a video from TubeBuddy, and the CEO of YouTube. He was talking about how they prioritize and making small channels grow now. Before, you would not see a small channel or a new channel next to a large content creator, right? One of the content creators that's getting hundreds of thousands per video. You wouldn't see a video from somebody like me or a small creator, but now you are. That's how a lot of y'all found me, off the algorithm. Yeah, get on this platform and talk about your life, talk about the job market. This is trendy right now. This is the content that YouTube is blowing up. Some people are changing their lives, making a lot of money off of their content, just being original. You don't even have to do a lot of edits. This is what's in right now, if you pay attention. A lot of the big content creators are losing everything, losing their jobs, and then small content creators are changing their lives, and it's been the means that's making them be able to survive right now, meaning without YouTube, a lot of these people wouldn't be able to eat. So if that's you, you might as well give it a shot. It don't cost nothing. You have a phone. You can do it on your own.
I hate applying to jobs nowadays because what do you mean you're saying that you don't need experience and then you get back to me saying that I don't have enough experience for the job and then I'm just there like okay, can you help me find the experience that's needed for this job? Thank you! That would be really helpful.
Everyone's been saying the job market is horrible and they hate it because like there's nothing, there's just like ghost jobs on LinkedIn and ghost jobs everywhere you need connections. Honestly, yes, I already knew that because since I think like November, I was looking to go back into corporate, but I started taking it seriously when me and my soon-to-be ex-husband are now getting a divorce. I'm like, I need to go back to corporate because I don't want to be in this house with him, especially because like this man hates me. But I did get into almost all of my grad schools. Fingers crossed, I'm waiting for like 2 more of them. One of the things I was really worried about was like, how am I going to handle grad school? Because I graduated undergrad with no debt because I worked my ass off in undergrad. And I've been wanting to do the same thing for grad school, so I've been trying to go back into corporate. I left corporate 7 months ago when my father died, and it was just a really, really horrible time for me. And I am trying to break back into it. And when I tell you guys, it's so difficult. I hear people talk about how insane the job market is right now. And as someone who just never had a problem with quitting a job because I always knew I was going to get a new one because to be quite honest, my resume is pretty good. But this is the first time where I feel like I'm struggling to get back into corporate and it's like really scary. And I'm trying to like talk myself into remembering no matter what, I got into my dream grad schools. Like I got into my dream grad schools. But I just have to keep remembering like even in grad school, like I have to eat. I probably will have to pay rent because I don't plan on like staying on campus for grad school because I feel like that's more loans. And again, I'm not trying to graduate grad school with hundreds of thousands of dollars of loans. I'm just not going to do that. But I've been thinking about how insane it is the job market is right now because I've never had this much problems breaking back into corporate. And like I said, I used to just like leave corporate for a while, do what I want to do nonprofit, do like policy work, and then come back into corporate. This is the first time I have not been able to break into corporate as fast as I wanted to, and it's like really discouraging. But like I've been telling myself the past couple of weeks, God's got me, and honestly, my resume is pretty good. For anyone else who's like struggling to break back into corporate or just like the job market, trust me, I get it. It's insane. But yeah, I just want to give like a quick update.
Bro, I can't be the only one to think it's impossible to get a job right now. Like, I don't know how it was back then, but fucking impossible to get a job right now. Like, you would apply on Indeed, people be like, it's easy to find a job. It's easy to find a job. Motherfucker, you try. Quit your job and see if you can find another job. Because you can't. Like, bro, the comp on Indeed is terrifying, bro. You apply for a bagger at, like, some random gas station, bro. You be having fucking 10,000 different applicants, bro. They're picking you through you're like a needle in a haystack, bro. You're not getting picked, bro. I promise you're not getting picked. And people at jobs like Walmart, bro, I be calling up Walmart. I be like, can y'all hire them? They be like, nah, bro. Call next year. I'm looking at the site right now. I know y'all hiring, bro. Why are you gatekeeping me, bro? Like, let me get money too, bro. Like, y'all not letting nobody in there? I see you work.
Call next year is crazy. It's somebody I know. He got laid off. They told him he could come back in 6 months. It's been like 9 months. He went in there. First he called. They said, yeah, the hiring manager will be there on Monday. Monday came around. They said she's sick. So what he did is he went in, right? He want to talk to somebody. He want a job, right? Y'all said 6 months. They told him, don't come back. We're not looking to hire older hirees, former hirees. We don't need y'all. And he saw a bunch of migrants walking in. See, this was right before Trump got in there. You know, he only been in there for what? Less than 2 months, right? You know, he ain't even been in there long. So this was the thing. They was like, yeah, we're going to hire all of these migrants. We're not worried about nobody else. These jobs getting cocky. They're getting tax incentives for following the new industry standards. A lot of roles are being eliminated, and then the rest are being delegated.
Someone needs to make a helpful job finder app, because short of the people that are on tenure, I think everyone's struggling in the job market, whether you're looking for a job or looking for another opportunity because your company doesn't care about you. There are jobs that people don't even know exist, and if they do know they exist, they don't know what companies are hiring for them, what kind of work-life balance it would entail, what kind of people they would work with, etc. When I was looking to leave my desk job and go into aesthetics, I didn't even know what an esthetician was. I always just called the person who did my facial lady.
Hey TikTok, it's been a little while since I came up here with any type of job update. If you don't know, I have been unemployed since October of 2024. It is now pretty much March of 2025. So I'm going on about my 5th month being unemployed, and I've probably put out well over 300, almost close, I would say between 250 to 300 applications in this time span. Anyway, I say all this to say that I recently interviewed for a position. This was 3 weeks ago now. And the lady was telling me I did the initial interview with her. It went really well. She said she's going to follow up her team and get back with me for the second interview. So a week passes. I didn't hear anything back. I was dealing with the death of my family, so I didn't really think too much of it. But she ended up getting back to me saying that she was out all week for the flu and that she would get back to me on scheduling my second interview. So that was last week. We're in a new week. I reached out to her yesterday, and today she finally got back to me today saying, oh, I'm so sorry, I know this isn't what you want to hear, but due to the high volume, blah, 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 we've gone with someone else. So I'll say all this to say that the job market right now is just based off luck. Like, I can't even be mad anymore at anything. Oh, people are fake hiring or the fake job posts. It's like, it really is just luck. Like, maybe you're lucky enough to know someone in the right place. Maybe you're lucky enough to have applied in a certain time frame for them to see your application first. Maybe you're lucky to be that internal candidate who, you know, gets prioritized over the position. But I can no longer beat myself up or be in my head about it, because I will legit go crazy. Legit go crazy. I'm in the running right now that that one's off the list, for still 3 other positions. And one of them has been in play for 3 weeks now. It's like, what's going on? So if you're like me and you're in the job market and you're feeling really discouraged and you're feeling like this is a constant, never-ending loop of just disappointment, I feel you. I'm with you. We will get through this together. Our luck will strike at some point, but don't beat yourself up about it, because odds are it has nothing to do with you.
The job market in 2025, throw the old shit away. Because, like, what are we actually doing here? Like, let me talk about this. Why am I interviewing with a person who has no decision on if I get hired or not? So I talk to you on the phone, you call me in for an in-person interview. So we do that. And then at the end of it, you go, oh, I'm definitely going to refer you to the boss. You have to come back out and talk to him. So who are you? Why am I talking to you if you have no fucking decision on if you hire anybody? You just over here screening niggas? I thought that's what the phone shit was for. Why are you screening me if you can't even hire me?
Things don't make sense within the job market no more, do they? The job market is ghetto. Ghetto. It's ghetto. I don't even got nothing else to say, man. The job market is ghetto. Straight up. It's not professional at all. Really, what is going on? What happened? It's like nothing makes sense no more. 1 + 1 just not 2 no more, man. It's just like, what's the purpose? It's like they're eliminating the roles that you think they would keep. And then the roles that seem not important at all, like, who are you and why are you here and why do I have to talk to you? They keeping him though. He keeps his job. It's ghetto. Ghetto. Job market don't make no sense, man.
I keep seeing a lot of comments on my posts and other posts that says the job market is great because everywhere is hiring. That's a lie. As the hiring manager for my work, we are required to put those now hiring signs out whether we are hiring or not. And it is because the corporations, the big huge umbrella, get a tax break whenever they're constantly hiring. Because if they are always hiring, then that means that they're never filling their hired quota, which means that they need a tax break because they can't fill their slots. I know this because we are, again, required to have the now hiring sign on our door at all times. And we haven't been hiring or had a position to hire for in like 6 to 8 months. I currently have over 300 applications of people applying because they think we're hiring, and I can't do anything with them. So when you see comments about, don't worry, there's 17 million jobs available, and if you get laid off of a job, you can get another one, and then the job market's not that bad, it's all bullshit. It's all a lie. Because the large corporations get tax cuts when they are hiring. Now, again, this is usually like larger corporations with hundreds of locations nationwide. So if you see a small town shop that's only in your store that has a now hiring sign, that is probably legitimate. But if you go into like a big fast food place or a big retail store and it says now hiring, the chances of them actually hiring are very, very slim.
Here are 3 challenges in today's job market that you need to be aware of. The first is that competition is fierce. There are more people applying for fewer jobs. It's just that simple. With all government layoffs happening, a massive flux of people are being released into the job market, and they're applying for the same roles you are. Not only that, people are still living in the 2020, 2021 lifestyle of remote-only work, and those roles are diminishing a lot. So if you're looking for a job, particularly one that's remote, you are going to have fierce competition. So be prepared to differentiate yourself. Do some networking, do some personal branding, put yourself out there, expand your reach, and that could help you. But the bottom line, expect 6 to 12 months between now and the time you find your job. The second challenge is that companies don't have time for aspirational hires anymore. They want you to match 75% to 80% of the job requirements. They understand that there are a lot of people who shift in the market. The average employee tenure used to be 5 to 7 years, and now it's 2 to 3 years. So they don't want to invest a lot of time and energy into training. So that means you need to come fully prepared to hit the ground running. If you're an aspirational candidate, you're probably going to get looked over. So make sure that your skills and experience match the jobs that you're applying for. If you don't, you're not going to get a call. The third thing you need to be aware of is the actual hiring process. It's super lengthy. Again, they're looking for a pretty perfect fit for this role, and companies are absolutely fine taking their sweet little time to make sure that they find the right person. That means your experience as a candidate could last a couple weeks or even a couple months. So make sure you have a lot of irons in the fire and you're not just focusing on one job at a time. Make sure you are interviewing at multiple organizations. Make sure that you're applying for multiple jobs. Even if you're in the funnel with 3 companies at the same time, they can all drag this process out and they can all even say no. So cast a wide net and cast it often. What are you seeing in today's job market as a challenge? Drop it in the comments and let me know. Good luck on your job search.
Not even gonna lie to y'all, bro. Gen Z is cooked. Now, hold on, stay with me here. I have a family member who works with this one guy, right? And this one guy that he works with, he has a very robust background in finance and accounting. Well, he knows a lot of C-suite prominent people in a lot of big bulge banks and financial institutions. And he said something to my family member that was very interesting that explains why a lot of Gen Zers are having such a hard time finding jobs right now, especially in the corporate world. He told my family member that a lot of the people that he knows at these corporate companies are purposely firing and not hiring Gen Zers. Now, their assumed rationale of this and why they don't want to hire Gen Zers is because they think that Gen Zers are only willing to do the bare minimum needed for role responsibilities, and they're not willing to work hard towards whatever the role responsibilities are. Overall, they think that Gen Zers are just lazy and not willing to basically sell our souls to the companies that we work for. And it's fascinating to me how there's still a large portion of people who are in the workforce discriminating against people of a specific age due to their willingness to work, which is absurd. So anybody over the age of 60 who tries to tell us you guys don't know what it is to work a real job, to work real hours, you guys are getting the easy way out with AI and all these extra tools that you have to your disposal, My response to that is shut the hell up, because y'all are not living in an economy where inflation continues to rise, mortgage and rents continue to rise, and we're getting discriminated against because of our age, bro.
Don't tell me why I called this place back and asked them how my application going. Tell me why they hung up in my face. They hung up straight in my face. They hung up straight in my face. I said, I put on my professional voice. I said, hey, how's my application looking? Like, have you looked at it? Like, what's the status? They hung up in my face.
Where I'm from, we call that banged on. She got banged on. The job banged on her. They don't even want you calling, I'm telling you. This is what I'm saying. They don't want you calling. They don't want you coming in. We just straight up don't want you no more. We used y'all up. We don't need y'all no more. It's messed up, ain't it? See how they do you? This is how they do it. They use you until you're no longer useful. And they use you until you're no longer youthful. Listen, man, it's your brother.
What you grasping on the fire burning? I'm looking for suckers for the cannon call. Where you run when the game is done and no one's standing tall? I'll be in the mountains with the lions and the tiger claws, scoping the city, watching society brawl. Where violence and ignorance is prevalent amongst us all. Life is determined on whether we can run or we crawl. Who you trying to impress with the closure? Rock your rhymes ain't nothing.
Get y'all president.
Songs is talk. Self-made, I started from rock
Get
bottom. Climbing cliffs, stop smoking.
y'all
I was much more higher than spliffs. So
president.
walking around town with my city.
I just got an email. We all just got an email in my office telling us and teaching us and sending us links on how to download our files. Because we may not be able to access said files once we are let go. My bad. Let go is too soon. Once we're fired. Because that's what's happening. So DeAndre asked, why I need to download my files? For in the event I have to apply for another job, I'll have them. For what? Who needs to see my performance eval from the federal government? Now, another government agent might need to see these files. But why would I go apply for another job in the federal government when y'all firing everybody? Why would I do that? That's dumb. Sounds dumb, don't it? I want y'all to know, everybody who voted for Agent Orange, I hope y'all are right with all of that. Because my position is not fraud, waste, and abuse. And I understand a lot of that is going on, and a lot of that has been going on since the beginning of politics. If everybody does their research. The top been always getting the most.
Thank you, and good night.
Always. But fraud, waste, and abuse, you are combating that with letting go our meteorologists, because they're not important, and that's fraud, waste, and abuse. By letting go our ETs, because they're not important, and that's yet another fraud, waste, and abuse. You getting rid of spots that are not fraud, waste, and abuse. But I digress. That's just the world we're living in right now, and I am pissed off. I am sad about it because it's affecting me. Like I told y'all it would. Dummies.
So I'm here at the VA again because this is where I work. Change that. I work past tense because right now it's 2 o'clock and I just got notified that my position is no longer valid. And so I am going to go turn in my laptop and go home.
Seem like we got to talk about these mass layoffs every day because they're happening every day. Let's hear some more people talk about how it is being laid off. And if you watch all the way to the end, there will be some solutions for people going through this right now. Family, you already know what to do. And if you're brand new too, thumbs up this video so YouTube can push this content out. Smash subscribe to join the tribe and ring the post notification bell as well. All right, let's get into it.
Hey, TikTok. I'm on the way back to my job to see if I got laid off. And I have my emotional support friend to come with me. Alright, I'm at my job. My heart is literally racing. Like it's being so bad. My email is loading. I got laid off because I'm still in my probationary period. But my probationary period literally ends in 2 weeks. Well, this is awkward. I'm not surprised, but this is awkward. And at the moment, I don't have any way to keep funding my overseas capability. I've been watching the interview. So, I don't know. I just know that God has something bigger in store for me because this already was a pit stop. So, I don't know, y'all. Just keep me in your thoughts and your prayers, man. If you got something for you, I don't know what to say. I don't have the words. It's just like what the I guess my starting bulletin that I had to send you on of what I did last week was not good enough.
So I just got laid off from my 9 to 5 that I dedicated 8 years to for this big corporate company. They laid off 1,000 and some people, including myself, and it happened this morning. And it's a bittersweet feeling because, I mean, a lot of you probably didn't know that I had a 9 to 5, but I hustled, worked 9 to 5, and then did my content creation after that, sometimes 7 p.m. to 2 a.m., and then went back to the office. I cried this morning, not because I'm sad, but because, you know, it's just like you give so much for a company, right? But I've been praying a lot about it. And, you know, in the back of my mind, I knew that I wanted to take this content creation full time one day, but I didn't know if I had the strength to leave. And so I prayed last night. I've been praying for a couple weeks knowing that this decision was going to happen. And it's wild what God decided for me. And He knew I was ready. I just didn't know I was ready. And it is a bit scary, but I think this was the best way to go. To, you know, get a severance package and being taken care of for a little while I finally take a chance on my dreams and go after everything I've been wanting and working so hard for. Yeah. I'm gonna cry it out and be emotional today, but this is just a raw thing for TikTok. It's finally time to bet on myself and take a chance. So I'm gonna go all in, full-time content creator. Mark my words, this date, and I'm gonna let myself be sad a little bit, but yeah, 8 hours to myself. What are we gonna do, guys? Let's go all in.
Sometimes people lack faith. They know they want to do something, but they don't have faith that it'll work out. So they stay at that job, and then sometimes that door gotta close for people to go all in, lock in, bet on themselves. And that's when they go to new heights. Sometimes it's not for everybody. Everybody doesn't go to new heights. Those that are dedicated don't give up no matter what. They roll with the punches. Know that every L is not a loss, it's a lesson to keep going, right? The people that understand that, they usually get ahead. And especially if you do market research, you learn the game. Success leaves clues. So if you follow what's already working, there's a more likelihood that it will work for you. And that's what I do. I follow what was working here on YouTube. It was a couple channels doing what I was doing, and I took over. Some of these channels I done passed up already. You see what I'm saying? I bet on myself. I went all in on myself because I had faith that this will work out. And me, I don't believe in failure. I believe you only fail if you quit.
The Elon Musk layoffs have hit my hometown in West Virginia, and it's a big deal. Musk's made-up dog committee decided that they would come to Parkersburg, West Virginia and cancel over 200 jobs at the Bureau of Fiscal Service. That's part of the Department of Treasury. It's an extremely important part of Parkersburg. It is a really important employer, and it's one that provides a very important living wage for a lot of people. So much so that even elected Republicans are admitting that 200 and 250 people losing their jobs in a place like Parkersburg is absolutely devastating to a community. And they're correct. It is. Because in a place like Parkersburg, economic opportunity is extremely hard to come by. The median household income in 2022 is $41,921. Now granted, this is weighted because a lot of these people were accountants, but the average salary at the Bureau of Fiscal Service in Parkersburg was $89,971. That is significantly higher than the median household income. Working here was considered a stable job, one that could lift you out of poverty if you came from poverty, and one that could provide you with a living wage and could support a family in Parkersburg, West Virginia. And now hundreds of people are without a job simply because some unelected oligarch decided that they weren't worthy of working anymore.
Did Doge fire my ass 2 weeks ago? Yes, he did. Am I pissed? Yes, I am. I got an email from someone I don't even know exclaiming my termination, okay? From a job I really wanted. What we're overlooking here, though, folks, is my determination. Lest we forget my lore. I was in the fucking Peace Corps in America. People are forgetting I lived in a hut. I have slept on a cot in a warehouse, 2 feet away from my teammates. Like a fucking baby, might I add. Do you think there's fan noise?
People think that these federal workers losing their jobs is funny, and it doesn't affect the regular person. Just wait until they start coming for your job, because have you ever seen a federal worker's resume? They are among the most educated and the most experienced, and they have the most diverse experience. Now imagine all of those people coming into the private sector. They are already underpaid as federal workers. I don't know where y'all get this idea that federal workers are paid very well. They are not. They are severely underpaid. Imagine them taking all of that experience and coming into the private sector where they will no longer be underpaid. Yeah, that's going to affect us in the private sector directly. You're going to lose your job to the same people that you make fun of.
Tell them that was my initial thought. Y'all laughing. Ha 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 ha. You lost your job. Guess what? Those same employees are more equipped for the job than you. And guess what? They lost their job and you will too. To them, these are top tier candidates. These are what the companies are looking for right now. You wonder why it's so hard in the job market? They're looking for that top tier candidate. They know they're out there, and mediocrity is not okay no more. It's not acceptable. That's what's happening. As well as we know AI automations and things of that sort. Roles are being eliminated. Companies are downsizing. All of that's a factor too.
Someone needs to explain this teensy weeny little detail to me, because I don't get it. If they are deporting immigrants because they are taking American jobs, okay, fine. If we are following that same line of thought, though, what are we doing about Fortune 500 companies laying hundreds of Americans off only to offshore?
Thank you, Donald Trump. I just got laid off. Me and 6 others. We work with immigration and we just got laid off in a very simple and disrespectful way. We got to the office. They had us waiting until 2 o'clock. And at 2 o'clock, they called us to a little room where the CFO, CEO, everyone was there. And it was like this. Well, I'm just going to break the news. Last week, we didn't receive any funds to pay you guys. So what can we do? We love you all. We love the job that you guys do. But as of right now, there's no funds to keep you. I mean, we can offer you other positions that are going to pay probably 30% less than what we make. We are a lot less of the benefit. And if you like them, you're more than welcome to apply. Otherwise, thank you. Hello, unemployment. Hello. Never collected before, so I'll keep you guys updated on that process. Let me just add that the meeting, the CFO was on the phone the entire time. So, very respectful. I felt very worthy. But you know what? This is America. Yeah.
Thousands of people are getting laid off. I'm going to say that again. Thousands of people are getting laid off with no savings account. I'm not posting these videos to be cute, to be your friend. Y'all, like, you need to have money set aside for emergencies. Right now, things are out of our control. The America is in shambles, okay? Turn on the news. This is not a joke. We're like hitting a recession. Yeah, you want to go out on weekends, order from DoorDash, buy decorations off Amazon. Y'all, read the room. Things are scary. And I say it out of love. You cannot be spending money on things you don't need if you don't have $100K put aside. You should have a year of rent in your bank account just in case. Y'all, landlords are not sweet. They will kick you out and give your spot to the next tenant who can actually pay. Eversource, National Grid, they will cut your power off. It's time for you to take care of yourself by investing in yourself, by saving as if you have zero in the bank.
And this is where save that money, because one day that money might have to save you, come into play. This is where save your money for a rainy day come into play. I was young, my mama taught me that. Save your money for a rainy day. She would always tell me that. Save your money for a rainy day. Even if she bought me something in the store, I'd try to pay her back. She said, save your money for a rainy day, son. The rainy days are here. The storm is pouring. And it don't look like it's stopping. If you got a job right now, focus on saving. It's not time to live like the Joneses. Live beyond your means. Try to flex on your coworkers. Try to flex on family members. Like all of that crazy stuff. It's not time for that. All right, now look. If you were recently laid off and this is your first time being laid off, you might not know how to survive a layoff. This next clip will prepare you. It's gonna give you some game. Take notes. Do what you gotta do. Take heed to the message. How to survive being laid off.
With all the layoffs happening federally and otherwise, because it's not just federal employees being laid off, and also with the news of the federal employees unaliving themselves after being laid off by the current administration. The king of the layoffs, I've been laid off 3 times. In my opinion, there's no difference between a layoff and a firing. It's just nicer wording, I suppose. I wanted to give some tips on how to survive a layoff. I feel like I'm an expert in this subject matter, or at least knowledgeable. I won't say expert. But anywho, first thing, whether you feel like a layoff is coming or not, you should always be prepared. You should always have your resume done. There's AI sites like Earn Better, and I'm sure there's other ones that you can get your resume redone without having to pay someone. And you can also, they also have job listings where you can customize your resume to the job that you're looking for or applying for. So always be ready. Also, if you feel like a layoff is coming down the pipe, or you know a layoff could potentially be coming down the pipe, that's your time to start looking for jobs or looking for ways you can earn money outside of working. When I got laid off the last time, I started a wellness company. I sold candles, elderberry syrup, all type of stuff, and that was able to sustain me because my company, out of spite, made me wait 3 months for an unemployment check, and I kind of felt like they were going to do something diabolical, so I was ready because otherwise me and my family would have probably been homeless by this point now. Secondly, and this should really be first, is protect your mental. If you know a potential layoff is coming or you've been laid off, stay around things that are positive. You might need to unplug from the internet, to be honest, because if you go into the comments on any of these sites where people are getting laid off, there's a lot of people with a lot of nasty things to say. So guard your mental, stay in a good space. I suggest walking, working out, meditating, therapy, counseling, whatever works for you. Do something besides being on the internet all day, plugged into the matrix, because that's no good for your mental. I'd also suggest putting your pride to the side and networking. Most of these jobs, it's not what you know, it's who you know, or it's a combination of both. So if you know people that are gainfully employed and you may want to work for their company, whether temporarily or permanently, don't be afraid to reach out to them, because a referral goes a long way. And with the amount of people getting laid off and the amount of applications these companies are getting, a referral could get you closer to the front of the line than you would have been otherwise. So lay your pride to the side and don't harass your people, but reach out to your network. That's how networking is done. Also, stay looking, stay applying. Don't just apply to a few jobs. This job market right now is diabolical. It's beyond hard for any level that you're trying to get into. So keep applying. Apply multiple times a day, multiple jobs, you might have to apply for the same position, but just know it may not be a short process. So get yourself, again, mentally prepared, because you might be in for a long road or maybe not. But anyway, get your mental prepared just in case, so you're not surprised, and continuously apply. Maybe put yourself on the schedule. That's what I did. I applied in the mornings and in the evenings until I just didn't see any job worth me applying for. You know, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And lastly, I will say, continue to update your skills while you're applying. If you feel like you're getting laid off, you may possibly get laid off, I should say, or you've been laid off, always be brushing up on your skills, maybe add a certification, maybe go back to school, maybe go to trade school and get a trade. Anything you can add to your tool belt is a plus, period, whether laid off or not, especially in this new world we're living in. Also, I would say lean into a higher power and always have faith. I don't believe in speaking negative words into the universe. I feel like that always comes back, so lean into your faith, because as I always say, you don't need faith when things are going well, but when things are going bad, the people that say they have faith normally throw their faith out the window. So lean on your faith or whatever you believe in, stay persistent, keep your mind clear, and support other people. Be kind to other people. I believe that also goes a long way. And good luck on your job search if you've been laid off. And if you haven't been, some of these tools will still help. It's always good to add tools to your toolbox. And support the people around you, whether you've been laid off or not. Don't be a jerk. There's enough of them around here. All you gotta do is look around. There's a jerk every 2 seconds. A jerk with no knowledge and nothing to add positive to society. Peace.
You can either go to trade school, you can get a trade, or you can learn how to trade. You can either sit on the sideline and complain, or you can get in the game, get you a high in-demand skill that's gonna pay your next bill. That's what I recommend right now. That's what I recommend right now. Along with content, I gotta recommend that. That's what your boy do. That's what I do. I trade and do YouTube, so I'm always gonna vouch for that. I'ma just say that, as well as using OPM, other people's money, to invest into whatever side hustle or business it is that you're passionate about. Chasing passion pushes purpose. Listen, man, it's your brother YT. If you made it to the end of the video, let me know. Say indeed, capital Indeed. So everybody that didn't make it, they gonna wonder like, why ain't everybody saying indeed? It's your brother YT. Y'all know who it is, man. Peace to my Hebrew family. Shalom.
I work in healthcare and I work from home. This is not a small company. This is a company like United Healthcare, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Don't want to really specifically name my company, but yeah. So some of these healthcare companies depend on government subsidy.
What up, YouTube? It's your brother YT, aka Yate, back at it again with another video. As of February 24th, which is today, significant layoffs have occurred across the public and private sector of the United States. Many people are not talking about this. They're talking about Doge potentially giving out $5,000 to each taxpayer. But what they're not talking about is Doge doing extensive downsizing, resulting in approximately 95,000 jobs cut. Voluntary resignations and terminations occurred, right? And the future phases of these layoffs may affect hundreds of thousands or more workers. The Department of Health and Human Services, they eliminated approximately 52,000 jobs, including 1,300 of which were from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. The IRS, y'all already know about that, they're doing massive layoffs. Public response, they're doing layoffs, which have sparked protests in California. Starbucks, even Starbucks, they're doing layoffs. Basically, what I'm trying to say is no job is safe. Family, you already know what to do, and if you're brand new too. Thumbs up this video so YouTube can push this content out. Smash subscribe to join the tribe, and ring the post notification bell as well. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, since I've been laid off from the Internal Revenue Service, well, it has been a total of 4 whole days. So this is all new to me because I've always had a job since I started working at age 16. So I always had income coming in.
And I'm older now. I'm 24 and I have an apartment. I have bills. I have a daughter. So I have great responsibilities. So when I got laid off from my job, you know, that I immediately thought I have to get a new job. I didn't immediately think about unemployment because I knew unemployment could not pay my bills. So when I first got home from being laid off, I immediately updated my resume and I just started putting in applications. So far, I think I may have put in over 30 applications. So hopefully I get a call back either this week or next week regarding an interview. I have faith that I'll find a new job that'll support me and my daughter so we can live the lifestyle that we were living before I was laid off from the Internal Revenue Service. I have applied for food stamps. Hopefully I get a call back from the food stamp office to schedule an interview and give them any documentation that they may need. I did apply for unemployment, so I'm waiting to get a call back from them also. And me and my daughter, we have 30 days on the federal health benefits program, so I need to go ahead and I need to set my daughter up on state Medicaid or state All Kids, whichever one she fits the criteria for. And I've already started budgeting. I wrote down all my bills. I'm not spending any extra money. My goal is to find a new job so I will not have to touch any of my money in my savings. But if need be, I will, because, you know, that's what the savings is for times like this. And I'm grateful that I do have a savings, and it's just self-discipline because I know I do want to be able to stay in my apartment, you know, keep my car. I don't want my bills to get behind. So I have been checking my emails, putting in applications anywhere where I may fit the criteria. So yeah, just pray for me that I get a new job hopefully before April. That's the goal. I need a new job before April. Pray for me.
I'm honestly kind of glad that I was one of the first people to be laid off by the federal government, because the feeling of just not knowing, like, will I, won't I, what's going to happen with the budget, what's going to happen with my department, was stressing me out so much. And I honestly didn't realize how much weight it was on my shoulders until it was lifted. Like, once I got laid off, I was like, okay, now I know what's next. Now I don't have to spend the next, year or 4 years wondering, is it going to be me? Is it going to be my department? I just can start on the next chapter. And then also, I feel like the job search market is about to be so saturated. Maybe not for like my field necessarily and like a graphic designer or photographer, but just in general. I feel like it already is, but I do think it's going to get worse. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. Curious if anyone else feels the same way.
Hi, Internet Besties. I was just on CNBC and I noticed that Starbucks is cutting some of their staff. Yes, 1,100 of Starbucks corporate staff is getting the axe. I just wanted to make you aware of this because we have been talking about the federal workers getting axed, and I want to give everybody the same space to be acknowledged that they were also let go of their jobs. So all these employees are in my prayers. I know how it feels. We've all been there. We've all been laid off. And I don't think one should get more attention than the others. I think it should be an equal playing field. It sucks to lose a job. It does. But I always tell you there's something better. So prayers are with the federal workers who are losing jobs. My prayers are with these Starbucks employees that are losing their jobs. Now, I'm not a big Starbucks fan. I don't drink coffee, but I respect the company and their business. So how do you feel about all these people getting laid off from Starbucks? Let me know in the comments.
It gets greater later. If you've been let go, let that door close so another one can open. Keep faith alive. Stay positive. Don't let any negativity or negative thoughts impact your mind. You take those thoughts and you replace them with positive thoughts. What's meant to be will be. Starbucks taking a hit, y'all. If Starbucks is taking a hit, that means Be prepared for restaurant layoffs. Be prepared for a lot of restaurant layoffs coming soon. Even closings. We're gonna see a lot of chains closing down.
Oh my God, where to start? I've been laid off for my tech job. I don't know how to feel about this situation. And me doing this is such a vulnerable thing that I'm doing, because one thing, you know, coming from African home, you don't put your dirty laundry out there or that you went through a hardship. I put so much effort, so much time, late nights, weekends, finding mentors. Like, I put so much of my resource, my blood, my sweat, my tears. It all came to an end 2 weeks ago. When I got the phone call, I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know if I should cry. Should I cheer? Should I be happy? Should I be worried? I didn't know how to feel at the moment. And to my friends and to my therapist, all of them called me, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm okay." A couple months before it happened, I questioned myself and my position. Questioned my position and asked myself, is this something that I can see myself doing long term? And I already knew the answer to it. It was no. No, I didn't see myself, but I was not ready to let go. And so one thing I've learned is that if you don't let go, it's gonna let you go. I just feel like my job had to be taken away from me because I started losing sight of my purpose of moving out here to this new city. And so now I'm free and I'm starting over. And I want to document this journey. I want to look back at this when I'm that girl. I mean, I'm already that girl, but when I'm it girl, and be like, I'm proud of you. We did it. And I want to take you guys along this journey with me. And so me doing this is me stepping out of my comfort zone. I know there's a lot of layoffs happening right now. For those that are going through a layoff, just know that you're not alone. We are in this together. Let's just hope it actually comes to see. And if you do get the chance to see this video, just know that it wasn't me.
Hey guys, so I was looking through these comments and I wanted to find a video to respond to that was kind of similar to my situation. I did not work for the government. I was in the private sector for a medical device consulting company, and I was on the marketing team, and we got new leadership this past week. Our president and CEO kind of shifted to somebody else, so they're coming with new ideas and things. And I don't want to say anything bad about the company, and that's not my intent with this video, but I'm just saying that with this new president, he decided to change the approach of the company, which meant eliminating the whole marketing team or shifting it. Our team was 3 people. It was me, my boss, and my coworker. Me and my boss got laid off, and my coworker got transferred to another team. But yeah, it's very frustrating because, like I said, I don't work for the government. This was not anything to do with what's going on. It was just just another layoff, restructuring of the team. But if anybody has job recommendations, I have a bachelor's, technically, easy way to say it, in biotech. So I'm looking for anything in biotech, life science industry. I'm very dramatic and picky, and I'm hoping for another remote job, but I'll definitely do hybrid if I need to in like the Nova DC area. But yeah, that was what happened to me. Very frustrating, but tomorrow I have an interview, and then Wednesday I have 2 more interviews, so I'm very hopeful that something will happen for me soon. So yeah.
Hi, kamusta? Spend a quiet morning with me as I share with you my life updates. My name is Shar. I'm a Filipina who moved to California 6 years ago. I came here for my master's degree, graduated, got a job in tech, and then got laid off. So thankfully, while we were doing that, my husband and I started a side hustle, and we now turned it into a small business. We currently own a photo booth company. We do photo booth rentals for weddings, parties, sometimes brands. So blessed because on our first year, we really blew up. We got viral, led to a lot of bookings. So we did almost 150, I think 200 na kami at this point. In America is isn't always easy. It's a lot of hustling to get where you are. If you ask me, I'm still looking for a job. Thankful now we have this sustaining us. So my husband just finished nursing school, so we're both technically unemployed and about to enter the workforce. It's a reminder that whatever you see on social media, living in America, it's not always easy. Do work hard, play hard. Having a business is still not enough. I definitely need a job. Minsan mahirap mag-apply for like car loans or housing loans because you don't have consistent income. So you want to look for a job. Same time, scale our photo booth business. If you want to follow more of my new small business era, like and follow.
To all of the foreigners that's living in America or everybody outside of the country that thinks America is the land of the free, America is the best country, the place to be, I'm telling you, it's not really. That's a lie. There was a lot of lies. They tell a lot of lies, and people come over here believing them, and then they see for themselves that it's not like they said. And I tell people this when I travel overseas. I tell them that you really don't want to come to America. I give them the real, and they're like, that's the first time I heard somebody talk about America like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm probably the only person that told you the truth. Now let me speak on the fact about a business. Yeah, starting a business, it takes capital. It takes time as well for it to grow. It's not gonna just become successful overnight. What I recommend is getting a high in-demand skill, getting a side hustle, or being an investor, starting with $500 or $1,000. Learning how to trade, learning how to invest into the stock market, cryptocurrency. That's what I recommend. But it's not for everybody. It's for those that are gonna stay dedicated and really, learn a method that works for them, stick to one thing, stay disciplined. And it get deeper than that. But this is what I do on the day-to-day, and I love it. I love it because you can make money at any time. So if you need it urgently, then you can make it when you need it, as long as you see your setup in the market. So that's what I recommend, just being diverse, having a diverse portfolio. One income too close to none. Having just a job, that's a plan for failure. Having a job in a business that's not going successfully, that's also a plan for failure, because now you have less income to live off of and you're not making any back if your business is still at the starting phases. Now you have to go through that. That's something you have to be willing to go through, but at the same time you have to have the capital to sustain yourself and the business at the same time. You can't be in a job that's not guaranteed. And at this point in time, really no job is guaranteed. So we have to also start to utilize our skills too. Content, y'all, content. Content is the greatest thing right now because it takes no investment. You can start with your phone. Everybody got a phone. You can start a channel for free. And all you have to do is get traffic. It takes no marketing, no budget. That's just some game.
I need my street pharmacists to tap in. And you know what type of street pharmacists I'm talking about, okay? I know y'all see the news. I know y'all see what the fuck's going on in America right now. And you done had a talk with the plug and the runners. You know what the fuck going on. How are y'all forecasting the current events right now? You see that all these federal workers are losing their jobs at an alarming rate, right? That shows you that ain't nobody safe because unemployment about to skyrocket. And that means that people can't afford to buy shit, and that's about to start affecting other businesses in the private sector. And when people not buying shit, they gonna have to start laying off fucking workers. So we gon' all be running around this motherfucker can't afford shit. So how are y'all adjusting? Like, are y'all increasing the prices? Are y'all seeing a decrease in clientele because people trying to conserve their money? I'm looking to pivot, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just want to know, is this going to be a sustainable industry? What are y'all thinking? Do y'all think that y'all going to get more people because, everybody going to be running around this motherfucker stressed out, losing their shit, so they need something to take the edge off? Or do you feel like y'all going to get less clientele, y'all going to lose some folk because they can't afford the product, so you might have to actually up the price on the motherfuckers that still can't afford shit? I just need to know, because I'm one of them people that just want to get in, get what I need, and get the fuck out of fucking America. At least under this, once this administration is gone, we'll reconsider some shit. But I need to go abroad for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, how's it looking over there on the streets?
I cannot believe that I'm still waiting to be officially fired from the IRS. I knew that I was going to be fired since last Friday because Reddit told me. Shout out to Reddit.
Monday was a federal holiday. Tuesday I went in there waiting for my letter. Everyone was acting like, I don't know, business as usual. Wednesday management finally was like, oh yeah, y'all getting fired. I know. Thursday they fired half the people. Today, I'm waiting to get fired. Sit around the office waiting for my email. And then I get told they're gonna send me a letter in the mail. In the mail.
They were all with one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind.
That's how I get that's how I gotta find out that I'm getting fired.
There appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire, and it sat upon.
I did not think this was gonna drag out this long.
We owe nothing but to love our man.
I'm ready to be done with it.
Do you understand? Standing under Yahuwah.
Just let me go.
Like most people
now I'm unemployed. I have a ton of debt, and I'm also losing my health insurance.
Did it ever cross your mind that you could be fired in a second?
That part actually never crossed my mind.
Did your supervisor give you a reason for why you were getting fired?
They made it clear that I was not being terminated because of anything that I had done.
An HHS official sent Sandlin a letter saying your performance has not been adequate to justify further employment at the agency.
When I got it really upset me because it felt like it wasn't truthful. My boss, her boss, and even his boss all said that that was not true.
Our CBS News data team found that at the Veterans Health Administration, which implements the health care program for vets, probationary workers account for 30% of the staff. At the Department of Agriculture, it's 19% of the branch that performs food safety inspections. When it comes to air safety, about 1/3 of the TSA may be impacted. So far, 2,000 probationary workers at NIH have lost their jobs.
What does the public stand to lose with these widespread layoffs?
We are important and we do important work. We're impactful, and if you have questions or concerns about federal workers, ask one.
I recently lost my job due to the cuts that Trump did within the federal government, right? No worries. You're not tripping over that. You want to know why? Because we have God, which means we have a solid foundation, and our home has been built on the rock. Understand, for anybody out there that's going through hard times, and I know there's a lot of federal employees that got laid off. Remember this, just keep this in mind. God has a plan for you. God has a plan for us all. Please do not give up. Do not give in. Continue to lean on God. You have a shoulder to lean on. You don't have to figure this out all alone. Just trust the process. Trust the process, smile, enjoy your family, enjoy the time you have with your family. Even go see a movie. God is painting a new picture in your life.
The great thing about Elohim, Yahuwah, the God of Israel, or the Elohim of Israel, right? The great thing about him is you can place your worries upon him, and he will take care of them. He will take care of them. He has a covenant with his people. He made a promise. He will not forsake you. He always is there for you through the light and the dark times, and ultimately he's the one that's in control. Pray to him, seek him. You're gonna be good. You're gonna be all right. You never really have to worry. He always provides. It's been times, and this is real. It's not no church story. You know how they had I ain't gonna even go there. But this is the real. It's been times where I didn't know how I was gonna get a bill paid, or I just had extra money in my bank that was able to cover the bill, and I don't know how I got there. It didn't come from a sale. It didn't come from online. It didn't come from nothing. I'm like, where did this money come from? The Most High takes care of his children.
So I was recently laid off from my job, and I'm not gonna lie, it's been a little ghetto. But I feel like I've been making the best of it, and I just want to share what I've been doing for anyone who feels like they might be laid off soon, or know someone who's been laid off or has recently been laid off. So the first thing that I did was I immediately went into savings mode. I checked all of my credit cards, any loans, any debts that I owe, any creditors, and looked up to see if I had any type of insurance, credit protection, and honestly, like, I am so blessed to have signed up for that little measly 99 cents credit protection on my credit card. So a lot of my payments will either be deferred or covered through this time that I'm unemployed. The next thing that I did was not panic apply to any jobs, just because I feel like I'm very traumatized by corporate America, and getting another job is not the solution. So what I did instead, because I did have some side hustles, and also I'm married, which like a lot of people don't have another person with an income where you can kind of take the time to figure things out, but I do, and I am very blessed for that. I'm not bragging, but what I did, I told my clients, I was like, hey, I have more time now, I can offer more services, and one of my clients even offered to double my retainer if I just come in the office once a week, which is 1000% a blessing. So yeah, if you have any other ways or any other sources of income, tap into those and see what else you can pull out of those. The next thing that I did was kind of go through like an emotional roller coaster of like, I don't want to call it grief, but it kind of was relief. And I feel so selfish for being relieved that I don't have a job when there's so many people that need a job. But the job honestly was draining my energy, my creativity. I feel like I've been so much more productive since I haven't had the job, and like I don't miss the job. I also have a good severance package, so like I see the point where I'm about to be broke, but I'm not broke yet, so I'm not really focusing on it right now. I'm just trying to find new ways to make money. The next thing that I did was really just hone in on what I am good at doing. So what skills do I have? What can I monetize on my own without having to go back to a job? And what do I need to improve on? That's really what I've been focused on for the last couple of weeks. And I think that I'm doing great. So I have a business called New Brunch, and I have grown that business by like 500 followers, and we've made a few $1,000s in sales. So I'm actually like glad with how this is going. So yeah, if you have a side hustle, side business, just dive all into it. I also have just been, well, I haven't told anybody except you guys. So like all of my friends know now that I'm posting this, but I don't know. I kind of felt embarrassed at first, but I don't feel embarrassed now. I'm just kind of like, I've got to figure out the next thing. It was really hard because I felt like I went through kind of an identity crisis. Like, what am I if I'm not what I do? And I'm so much more than what I do. And once I started to really figure that out, I could hone in on that and use that to make additional money. So if you've been laid off, or if you feel like you're about to be laid off, or if you know someone who's been laid off, please use this video and drop some comments and advice for people in the comments, because I 100% do not have everything figured out, but I would love to hear how you guys are navigating this. This is my very first time being fired or laid off from a job, so just having to figure it out is kind of new territory for me, but I know that like our generation has been going through this, and I just want to know what you guys have done. So leave a comment and let's chat.
What is up, guys? It is February 24th, 2025. This is crazy. We've got a corporate edition. Starbucks is going to be laying off 1,100 corporate employees, which is the largest layoff that the company's had in its history. The CEO says that he wants to run things more efficiently. Don't they always? They want to increase accountability. Accountability for everyone except for them. Reduce complexity and drive better integration. The union's been fighting Starbucks for their first union contract since they won their elections back in 2021. They've been holding strikes in December. Not only that, plus all the demonstrations and the boycotts against Starbucks for helping to fund a genocide in Palestine. So the union's criticizing the CEO, basically saying, you want to cut all these people's jobs. You won't give us our contracts, and you received $96 million in the first 4 months of your job. Go figure. This is kind of on the tail end of Meta itself also rolling back their DEI initiatives and cutting 3,600 employees out of performance, right? So is this foreshadowing what we're going to be seeing for the next couple of years, now that we've got an administration that is so corporate friendly, 1% friendly. We will see. Austin, you need to brace yourself, because after the Meta cutbacks, Tesla cutbacks several months ago, I wonder if it's going to be a ghost town because no one can afford this city anymore. That's what I've got for you guys. Make sure that you're signed up to all my bells and whistles up there so you're notified whenever I go live or I put out a new video. And sign up to and subscribe to my YouTube channel. My link is in my bio. It's completely free. And I will plan on having much longer videos, much more information for you. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I will see you soon. Peace.
You want to know some warning signs that your company's about to do mass layoffs? I've seen this happen over and over again the past few years. I'm going to need you to save this video and please repost it so we can get the most awareness as possible. The first thing you notice is they start cutting off all the contract workers. Anyone who is a contract worker do not get renewal on their contracts. This is almost like a quiet layoff. They're contractors. They don't even work at the company. The second thing that you start to see is a return to office, either hybrid or in the office 5 days a week. Either way, it means that anybody who is outside of the local area will be forced to quit or make the decision to relocate their family for the job. So again, this is like quiet layoffs. And the third thing that you start to notice is managers start to micromanage more and track performance. You might also notice that more and more people are going on PIPs or performance improvement plans. I've seen it time after time that once these three things happen, companies have done pretty much all the quiet layoffs they can do, and then they start to do the real thing. They start to do mass layoffs. So if you know someone who's at a big company, share this video with them today.
America is going downhill. I think we're about to witness one of the greatest recessions of all time. Across the country, there has been mass layoffs. The inventory in the real estate market has been increasing, and the median home sales have been going down. So you're seeing a lot of people list their properties just to cash out on the equity that they've gotten over the past couple of years. It's crazy what's going on right now. And then there's not a lot of job opportunities. So a lot of companies are dissolving these jobs and they're dissolving programs. So that's going to leave a lot of people either in the foreclosure, or it's going to make the inventory increase. But the only people that may be able to grab that inventory is people that are coming from states where the cost of living is a lot higher, or people who are buying those houses with cash. 70% of America is living paycheck to paycheck right now. They're struggling. So who's going to buy these properties? They're big corporations and huge companies. That's who's going to buy these properties. So right now, as you can see, the middle class has been completely dissolved. There is no more middle class. Either you're in the upper class or you're struggling. So what's the next move? People are saying that you can't invest in the stock market right now. The crypto market is shit. So what can you do? My plan is to move to Africa. That's it. I'm getting out of here.
Yes, there will be an increase in inventory and buying opportunities. It's going to be people that buy with cash, but the real investors coming in with OPM, other people's money. They coming in with lines of credit. They coming in with credit cards. You can buy houses off credit cards. There's people getting in the game like that. People coming in with private lenders, private money lenders. That's the game. People gonna get in how they can. Thing is, what's gonna happen is what happened in '08, except this one gonna be way worse. This crash is gonna be way worse, but the housing market gonna crash a little bit, maybe possibly give us a fine opportunity, to get in at a discount, and then we can hold it when the economy recovers. Then you win the game. Now you can make big money, right? Or through it, you may be able to rent it out. We don't know how this one really gonna play out due to the fact that hyperinflation coming. If we do see an opportunity to get in, then people gonna get in. There's a lot of folks that been waiting for this time and been preparing. That's why we're supposed to be watching. And a lot of us, we really been thought this was gonna happen. It's just they've been kicking the can down the curb, and they want this crash to be the worst one as they usher in the new system, the new monetary system, right? As they usher in cryptocurrency, as they usher in the digital currencies, as they usher in the agenda, the Great Reset, the 2030 agenda. Jobs have to come to an end. The workforce is perishing, right? A lot of jobs gonna be sent to the metaverse. This is just the reality of the agenda for the world. The whole world is on one accord. We got 5 years left, really. We got 5 years left into it right now. A lot of people been prepared. They given the warnings that this will come. Remember, this used to be a conspiracy. Living right now. All I'm gonna say is y'all start paying attention now if you haven't. If you're in this situation, right now is the time to really humble yourself, really be frugal, really lock down on your finances, lock in.
Now the vision ends and it hits you like pow. All the stuff mentioned is happening right now. You know what you can do to thwart all the liars? Just put your trust in the biblical Messiah.
Okay, Saki, you're being a little paranoid right now. You're being conspiracy nut, okay? Take off your tinfoil hat, okay? There is no such thing as the Illuminati. Alright, just
mainstream sellouts just feed you the lies just so you can quote them like they said something wise. The symbols are blatant, hidden in plain sight, man. I'm just trying to tell you the right thing, alright, man? John Todd, Bill Cooper, John Kennedy, they were all killed because they exposed the enemies. There's a lot more who will put in jail or worse, but the Bible predicted all this first. Ephesians 6:12, that sums it up perfectly. Sorry to repeat, but that sums it up perfectly. The Bible haters, this statement is for you. The Heavenly Father, He hates religion too. Roman Catholicism is not even biblical. It breaks so many commandments, it's despicable. So my last point that I'm gonna have to make, don't diss the genuine because you've seen the fake.
On yourself, really dedicate your time to yourself so that you can get something going for yourself. Because as you see, if you depend on these jobs, then that dependency will be what cripples you. It'll be what makes it to where your family not gonna be able to eat, not gonna be able to survive, not gonna have nowhere to stay. This is not a doom and gloom video. This is a red pill video. This is a video telling you it's time to take this stuff serious. A lot of us have been trying to tell people for 7 years, 10 years. Some people like Robert Kiyosaki been talking about this. You know, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's people I watch on YouTube. It's plenty of books about this. Like, people been talking about this since the 90s and even the 50s even, like. So it's like, this is nothing new. There's nothing new. Middle class is just being eradicated, y'all. That's what's going on. If y'all do need help, man, hit my email. I got solutions for y'all. We could chop it up. I'm willing to talk. Give y'all some free game. And that is in the description, by the way. It's your brother YT, man. I appreciate y'all watching. Let me know what y'all think about this video. Did you lose your job, or are you potentially about to lose your job? Are you fearful, or do you think that you're about to lose your job? Have no fear. Place all of your worries on the Most High. I love y'all. Peace. Shalom.
You